I haven't failed. I just found 10,000 ways that it won't work. Thomas Edison. Welcome to the Mind Your Business Mentor podcast, where we support people who want to start their own business by teaching them how to develop a life as well as a business. Stephanie here, your host and mentor. And in this episode, we'll discuss a common fear that holds many aspiring entrepreneurs back: the fear of failure. We'll be exploring why failure is actually valuable and how it can help you grow and succeed in your business and personal life. So if you're someone who has hesitated to take risks or afraid of failing short of your goals, then stay tuned for some valuable insights and advice on how to embrace failure and use it to your advantage. Now, answer me this. Why are so many people afraid to fail? It could be several factors, such as past experiences, pressures from society, or cultural norms. They might all contribute to the fear of failure. Failures in the past or unfavorable comments might make many individuals afraid to attempt again for fear of failing again. The other factor could be social or cultural pressures to achieve always and to avoid failing at all costs. This may generate a fear of failing, which deters people from taking chances or pursuing their goals. Together with a fear of unknown and uncertainty, fear of failure can also be correlated with a fear of criticism or judgment from others. In the end, the feelings of dread of failure is complicated and can result from a range of social, cultural, and personal variables. Now, when I started my own business, I actually wasn't afraid. I was very confident when I was younger. I was ambitious, creative, and ready to put it together and put it down. It wasn't until I had experienced some of the failures that so many others feared that I had a shift in my belief. I started losing belief in myself, belief in that this dream that was in my mind would ever happen. Now, I was displaying an optimistic attitude on the surface, while deep down, I was worried about what other people would think if I didn't succeed, since I had been at it for so long, and I had started to doubt my own abilities. I pursued one business venture after another, all with the promise of life-changing income, only to receive an income that I was barely surviving from. But over time, I realized that failure was not something to be feared, but rather a necessary step in the journey to success. I know that sounds good. It sounds good. But who wants to fail? Who wants to set out to do something and fall on their face or lose money or be looked at in a way that you just don't know what you're doing? You don't know how many times I've heard, why don't you just go back to work? I started asking myself the same question. But to the present, I still feel fear at times, but I keep moving forward with the realization that some of my fears actually were manifested because I had constantly stopped, then started again, and then stopped once more. So I have pushed past my fears and pushed through the process. Let's take this podcast for instance. It's my PUSH, an acronym, PUSH, and in this case, it's promote until something happens, as Bishop Jakes would say. And he also says, pray until something happens. And believe me, I'm doing both. Well, I started the podcast for a long list of reasons. And let me share those. Number one, I needed to stop hiding. I have been saying that I'm going to do things, talking about that I'm going to do things without actually manifesting them, without actually putting in the work that is seen on the outside. I've been cooking in the kitchen, but I haven't served any food. Well, this podcast would be your first dish. Number 2, I wanted to start trusting myself again by doing what I said I was going to do and completing it. Number 3, I needed to perfect my message and master my skills. Number 4, I needed a platform to test my concept from and to sell from. Number 5, I needed to destroy the fear of what other people may think. I had to stop thinking about if somebody was going to accept my message. I had to stop thinking about if my delivery was crisp enough. I had to stop thinking about, is my voice right? Am I following the right strategy, the right formula, the right format? I had to stop thinking about all those things because they were holding me back. Number 6, I needed to see what I was capable of. Number 7, I wanted to meet and interview like-minded individuals that I could learn from and get out of my own head and outside of this bubble that I had created for myself. Number 8, to get and give encouragement. Number 9, to build a body of work. Number 10, to discover exactly how I wanted to run my business, one episode at a time. And as you can see, this podcast is just as much for me as it is for you. I'm doing this for myself. I'm just sharing it because I believe that I have something to offer. I am learning to embrace failure as a learning opportunity and to use my failures as a way to improve and grow. It is part of the process, and you cannot get around the process. I'm grateful for the failures that I've experienced. They have made me stronger and more aware of who I am and who I am working to become. I know that failure is seen as a negative outcome, something to be avoided. When we fail, we learn valuable lessons that can help us improve our skills, adjust our strategies, refine our approach, and ultimately accomplish what we set out to do. In fact, many successful entrepreneurs have experienced multiple failures before achieving success. Here are some examples of individuals who have failed at some point in their lives and went on to become successful. Michael Jordan, a former professional basketball player who was cut from his high school basketball team, but went on to become one of the greatest players of all time. J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, who was rejected by multiple publishers before finally being accepted and becoming one of the best-selling authors in history. Oprah Winfrey. Oh man, the media mogul, who was fired from her first job as a television news anchor, but then went on to become one of the most successful talk show hosts and entrepreneurs in history. Thomas Edison, an inventor who failed thousands of times before finally inventing the light bulb and changing the world. Steve Jobs, co-owner of Apple, was fired from his own company in the 1980s, but returned to lead the company to even greater success in the 1990s and 2000s. Steven Spielberg, a film director, was rejected from film school multiple times, but went on to become one of the most successful and influential filmmakers of all time. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president of the United States, experienced multiple business and political failures before finally achieving success as a lawyer and politician. Colonel Sanders. Now I'm hungry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm vegan. The founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken was rejected by over 1,000 restaurants before finally finding success with his own chicken recipe. Vera Wang, a fashion designer who failed to make the U.S. Olympics figure skating team, but went on to become one of the most successful and respected designers in the industry. In conclusion, failure has value and should be seen as an opportunity for growth and improvement. It's important to embrace failure as a natural part of the learning process, to use our failures as a tool for success. So if you feel afraid to fail, just remember that failure is not a reflection of your worth or ability. Pushing through the failures is what increases your worth and sharpens your abilities. If you're ready to embrace failure and achieve success in your business, take the MYB Life Assessment to gain clarity and direction on your journey. It can be found on our homepage, themindyourbusinessmentor.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the Mind Your Business Mentor podcast on your favorite, that's the favorite, on your favorite platform for more insights and strategies to help you succeed. Thank you for listening to the Mind Your Business Mentor podcast. I'm Stephanie Arcady, and I will see you on the next episode. And a little word, a little advice from your mentor, you already know, mind your business.